You're getting a lot better at plugging shit in and pressing a button.
Yes. I'm proud of myself.
A monkey can do what you do.
Probably true. And like with you, a monkey can fling shit. You got a point?
I always have a point.
Pumpkin Spy Patricia?
What? Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to explain why this conversation came up naturally?
So, there was a box that we got from Total Wine, which doesn't pay us for this, but, you know, we love our Total Wine, don't we, folk? And
I mean, we had like 7 bottles at one time in the box, and I think we said it'll last us a week.
And it did. Total Wine is... So, I didn't know this. Bevmo is owned by some Democratic congressman's family. And the guy's like a multi-millionaire because of it. Because they've basically become like a monopoly on liquor and alcohol sales in certain areas. Especially like pushing out like local liquor stores. So Bevmo is kind of the devil, but occasionally they have good deals. I'll deal with the devil if I get a 25% off coupon. Okay? Total Wine, on the other hand, is more wine-focused. And they have, as is in their name, and they have wines from around the world, and they also have a really good stock of specialty liqueurs and stuff that you wouldn't probably typically be able to find it at your local Bevmo. And they do have liquor, and we've noticed, weirdly, they have big sales on large format bottles of alcohol. So the 750 milliliter bottles that you would associate with a bottle of wine or a bottle of vodka is something like, let's say it's $29 for one bottle of vodka, whatever brand, top shelf, anything like that. So you'd assume that it would then be $59 for a double the 750 milliliter size bottle, like a 1.5 liter bottle, or sometimes they make it a 1.75 liter bottle. So they add a little extra to it, which is, it's like a handle and then bigger than a handle. I think a handle is 1.5, right? And then 1.75 is even bigger than a handle. There's no bottles.
I don't know, because the Russian man yesterday said that the 750 milliliters was a handle, and I'm thinking to myself, that's not a handle.
It's not a handle.
It's
just
a bottle.
Has a handle on it. He's Russian. So, okay. But we have to get to that in another. That we have to circle back to this. So you can get
the entire trip to that place was
the entire
just
trip
a
to
mess.
Total Wine yesterday. So the 1.75 milliliter bottle somehow ends up, instead of being like $30 for the regular size, $60 or more for that size, ends up being like $25. So it's like, wait a second. Not only am I getting double and a little bit extra of the amount of alcohol that's in the smaller bottle, I'm getting it for a few dollars less. And the gentleman at Total Wine couldn't explain why, and I have no idea why, but I'm fine with it. I am fine having, vats of vodka, because
for less than the price of a half a vat of vodka.
Right, exactly. Like it's exactly what I always wanted. I mean, at this point, you can buy Stoli, which is a great vodka, at Total Wine for the price that you could buy the plastic bottle shit. Like, we're winning. So we'll circle back to the Total Wine discussion. Put a big fucking bookmark in that later on, because I may have committed a felony or a crime against humanity. I'm not sure. But we'll get back to that. So we got this box from Total Wine, and what does it say on the side?
Well, it's been sitting in the house now for over 24 hours.
Okay.
And, well, wait a minute. Was that yesterday?
2 days ago. You don't think it's going to grow legs?
Yes. Okay, it was 2 days ago.
Does it give you a box to carry your bottles out of?
Yes. So, but it's been in this house for over, 24 hours, over 36 hours, and neither of us noticed what's written on the side.
Yeah.
So it's it says Sweet Shop. It's some kind of specialty brand cocktail, and whatever flavor was in there was, as written on the side, pumpkin pie cream. And anything fall or autumn or Halloween-ish that's out, starting in late July especially, and then now into August. We're now getting towards September, so I'm okay with it. But Wyatt just throws a hissy fit every time he sees any kind of pumpkin, anything before fall begins. It's like the end of times is coming.
Instinctively recoil at it for a couple reasons. One, still have some lingering PTSD over back to school, meaning that summer's over. And then that means when fall stuff comes in. Because who the fuck wants to leave summer? Like, no
fall
one does.
is my favorite season.
We'll get to my personality diagnosis of people who enjoy fall, but it's because they're sick people, but like the deeply ill, usually women. But anyway, anything fall related, and especially fall related stuff that's in July. So like the 5th of July, they start putting out fall stuff. Sick. That's just sick. Yeah. Because
that's
you haven't even hit the high point of summer yet. You haven't even hit the hottest times of summer yet. And also, being a California person, I'm sorry, we don't experience fall. It's like 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks where the leaves turn brown, and then it just kind of gets gray for a little bit, and then it sort of like lumbers into winter. But we can experience summer-like weather, theoretically, until the 2nd or 3rd week of October here. Now, everybody else on the East Coast and in other parts of the country don't experience that, so I understand that. But the problem is that then we overcompensate. So because there isn't a fall, they have to create like an artificial fall here. So you see women, it's 85 degrees, and you see women in pashmina scarves and boots clutching onto their pumpkin spice lattes like it's the only thing keeping them alive. And it is the most upsetting display that you can ever imagine. So I don't have, and here's the thing, I don't hate pumpkins as a flavor. I think it's a fine flavor. As with many other flavors, I take issue with people constantly wanting to consume it in liquid form. And I don't understand that. I think the pumpkin is great in, breads and scones and pie and pancakes and other things like that. Okay, great. Have all the pumpkin flavored goodies that you want. But why do you have to drink it? That's the part that's really odd for me. Especially because it's so cloyingly sweet.
Like I said to you earlier before we started recording, I don't mind pumpkin, but I don't like it necessarily. So like I said, I will have pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. I will have 1, maybe 2 pumpkin spice coffee drinks during the height of fall, meaning like, mid-October, when I feel Halloween is right around the corner. I'll have my little yearly thing, and I'm done with it. All these girls who, 1st of August hits and they're in Starbucks line getting their pumpkin spice bullshit, and they drink 1 every day, 3 every day for months.
And then they're like, "What can I lose weight?"
Those are sociopaths. Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I'm going to back up. Why is there not? If you're going to make here's the thing. If you're going to drink your squash derivation,
like gourd. If you're going to drink your gourd.
If you're going to drink your gourd, Shelby. If you're going to drink your gourd, why not have a spring iteration of what pumpkin is? Because there really isn't one. Can we make that cucumber? Because you can drink cucumber, you can drink it in cocktails, you can make cucumber salads, or watermelon, or something. So cucumber, wait.
Watermelon is summer, yeah.
Think about it, though. You could make an entire calendar based on squash. So you do pumpkin is fall, cucumber is spring, watermelon is summer.
Watermelon is not a gourd.
Well, cucurbits are related to pumpkins. Seeded squash derivations. So cucumber in spring, watermelon in summer. In fall, you have your pumpkin bullshit. What would you have in winter? Butternut?
I actually... Butternut and pumpkin, to me, are very synonymous when it comes to cooking. No, I don't know. There's not... There's not a winter.
Like a winter melon or something? There is it is a term, winter melon, but I'm trying to think of what you would have as the equivalent.
I don't know.
Because everyone hates honeydews for some reason. I think they're great.
I like honeydew.
People hate them. Cantaloupe is not strong enough to be a flavor.
What you're suggesting is similar to my risotto.
Your seasonal risotto calendar.
Yes.
Yes. Which is the whitest sentence ever said.
So we're approaching the time when I'm going to start putting... so in winter is when I use the mushroom risotto.
Okay.
Fall is when I do the butternut squash risotto.
And summer?
That's my thing. Summer and spring I don't really differentiate. I just do pea and asparagus or some variation thereof during the summer and spring. You're looking at me like that's sacrilegious. I realize, I should probably make one that's different, but I don't.
Yeah, what if you did, spring is lemon asparagus. Actually, no, asparagus is more of a summer vegetable. So summer can be lemon asparagus, and spring can be, I don't know, peas and bacon? Peas and pancetta? Something like that. Or what's a spring thing? You wouldn't use fennel in a risotto, would you? It's too strong.
No.
I'm trying to think of something very fresh,
I mean, you could shave Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are a winter vegetable, though. What's a seasonal spring vegetable
Peas.
you could do? Okay, peas. So peas is
Spring
spring.
peas.
Asparagus is summer. Butternut squash is fall.
The thing is,
And winter is mushroom.
no one cares about this. I apologize, people who listen.
We are marketing the shit out of this.
I apologize to you listening.
Why do you apologize?
But,
Don't apologize to Colin.
peas. Don't call him by name. The pea and
Voldemort.
the pea and asparagus risotto, I don't change fundamentally. It's just the two vegetables that I put in. The butternut squash, I actually put saffron in and beef stock. And in the mushroom, when I put Gouda cheese instead of a Parmesan. So there's substantial taste differences in those, but there's no substantial taste difference in what I would do for pea versus asparagus.
Well, maybe for the pea one in spring, either you can do peas and pancetta, which I think would be fun, or you can go almost like an herb route or something like that and do pea and tarragon. Pick a flavor that's a little bit more refreshing.
Tarragon's too overpowering. What you need to vary is the cheese.
Okay.
You need to vary the cheese. So Parmesan with summer and I don't know, Fontina in the spring. I don't know what's a spring cheese.
She was the better one of the Supremes, by the way, Fontina.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Anyway, can we circle back to?
So people who like fall tastes are sick. But if you're gonna do it, I want a calendar of squash derivations for the entire year, and I want cucumber spritzers at Starbucks in the spring, and I want watermelon iced teas.
Cucumber refresher.
Watermelon iced tea.
Starbucks does do that. They just don't. They're not as popular.
Pumpkin spice latte, and then some Christmas bullshit.
But they do that. They have the.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell a story.
Dragon fruit a lot.
I'm going to tell a story that I've told you before, but I've not told on mic before.
Is this about your abortion?
So they have the pumpkin spice in the fall. They have all of those wonderful flavors, which I love their Christmas drinks. I do. I'm a sucker for a Starbucks Christmas drink.
I'll have a
the creme brulee latte and all that stuff.
That's a little much.
It's delicious.
I'll try one of their Java chip things once.
But that's not a seasonal thing. That's an everyday thing.
It used to be seasonal.
Well, it's not anymore. But during the summer, they have the dragon fruit refreshers and all of that, the very tropically stuff. It's just people don't hype as much over the pumpkin bullshit. Anyway, very quickly, story. When I was at University of New Mexico, there's a Starbucks in the library, as many universities have in their libraries.
Oh, lucky. We had the coffee bean thing, so that was the UCLA contracts. We never got Starbucks on campus.
No, we had a big Starbucks front and center. And so it was around Christmas time, probably around, final exam before the end of the semester. So beginning of December. And they were doing their Christmas drinks. And I'm in line, and this girl says, "Oh, I want to try one of your peppermint mochas or something like that. And so she ordered it. And I get my drink, she gets her drink. She takes a sip of it, and she turns and looks at me and says, "It tastes like Santa Claus just came in my mouth." And she didn't mean it like that. She meant like entered, like she just felt like Santa Claus. And as soon as she realized what she said, she clasped her hand over her mouth and ran away from me. And I'm just like,
that's the only way out.
I'm just like, you poor girl. I know what you meant, but it came out.
Do you know
all
her
wrong.
name?
No.
I want to find her.
I don't even remember what she looked like.
How mortifying would it be if you found somebody like 12 years after they did something embarrassing in real life that you didn't even know, and you're like, remember when you, and that's something that they had like worked very hard to forget, and then they're mortified that people actually remembered it? That would be hilarious. It's like one of those Ellen pranks.
She's going to be listening to this podcast.
She's listening to this podcast. She's like, God damn it! This is going to send her life on an even more worse track. Severely damaged one person's life today. It's a good start.
That's how I start every day. Sometimes it's yours. Usually it's yours, but
no, I'm still here. So Total Wine.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm going to have to post something about this today because there was an incident.
The whole
trip
experience was an incident.
We're walking in. We're already laughing about something else. We're kind of like, we worked out, so we're kind of like delirious.
But this was a different Total Wine than the ones that
we
I
went
normally
to the fancy,
go to.
Yeah, you normally go to these slutty suburban Total Wines. We went to like the fancy Newport Beach Total Wine.
But you walked into this one, and all of the really expensive, like, vintage champagnes and the
Magnum bottles.
Right, and the things that are imported from around the world, all of that fancy, expensive shit is right up front hitting you in the face. Yeah. And all the swill that we want, is around the corner.
It's in a dark corner, yeah. Which is the opposite. Usually you go into a Total Wine and it's like $3 Riesling. This Total Wine was like, what's Louis the 13th? You want the big bottle or the small one? Like, they're ready. They know their customer base.
Probably. So we puddle and pits around. That was not what I meant to say. We walk around a little bit in that section. Shut up.
So full of shit.
We walk around. I meant to say putz around.
Yeah.
We putz around that section of the store, and
looking deeply unqualified to purchase anything there. By the way, because we both walked in like workout clothes, and these people there who are used to a customer base that's in their 70s and in the 70 million income range was a little bit. Perplexed.
We also forgot to mention that before we even entered the store, as we were driving up, this 89-year-old person was backing out of a parking spot, and I said, "This old man doesn't." Oh wait, is that a woman? Like
they were
figure it out.
They're so old. They were at the age where the genders just kind of naturally just sort of look identical. Like when
whoever
women
it was wearing a diaper and was just
when women give up on even having like long hair, but like even like ear length hair, so everyone's hair is short, everyone's hunched over and dried up. They've given up on the lipstick. They're just like at this point, just like a little spinal cord with some teeth, and that's it. And that was who was driving that Lexus at 1 mile an hour backing out of a parking spot.
Yes, this person took 10 minutes to get on the fucking parking spot, and we're just like, we just want our booze.
I mean, it's really scary that Total Wine probably still has customers who remember Prohibition. So that was our entrance. Then we walk in and there was the relentlessly, disturbingly positive woman who was the manager.
Yeah.
With the glasses. Very nice. Imagine Megan Mullally, but like...
Nice.
Imagine a nice Megan Mullally. So that energy that you're greeted with. And it was wonderful, but it was also a little bit jarring.
So we find some things, we load up a basket.
We're looking for the cheapest bottles of wine in each section. So we're looking like, where's the $4.99 shit? And everything is like $181. So that was a little bit of a search. But we eventually loaded up our, buy 5, get the 6, 10%, something like that. And then we head over to the liquor area.
Yeah.
And so we're at this point we're just being fucking giggly because we are laughing up and down at like the different wines and rosés. And
that's where we found Debussy champagne.
Yes, we found a champagne called Debussy, which we had to purchase.
And I think it was $12.
We visually sampled We visually sampled the various displays of Black Girl Magic Rosé, which are not selling. Not selling. But they sell it in the can now. And so we go back and look at some of the different alcohols. So we make it through whiskey, we finally get the vodka, and we're looking at like, it's so funny because vodka, like you said from your bar book, has to be clear, odorless, lifeless, something like that. Like it has to be three things, tasteless, in order to be marketed as vodka. So vodka marketing is actually very, very clever because you have to have an insanely neat bottle and you have to say it's been 18 times distilled through Icelandic rocks and diamonds. There's actually some vodka where they say, like, we pushed it through diamonds, which I don't know what that means. Like, the owner's wife just dips her ring in it a little bit. Something. But there's so many different, like, bottles and, like, fun. It's like fun. It's fun to go through there. It's like an adult, you know, like, theme park. And then we go to the Stoli display because Stolichnaya, which is based in Latvia.
Are you going to talk about the faux pas first, or do you want to talk about... Okay, you finish your story.
You were cutting out your interruption, aren't you?
Go ahead.
So, we look in the Stoli section because Stoli used to make this. It's based in Latvia, by the way, not Russia, because everyone's been so terrified about, like, we don't sell vodka made in Russia, even though the only one was Russian Standard. You only buy that when you're in the dregs. And that's your favorite, though, right?
No.
And so you had a bottle of Russian Standard.
I had one once, yes, because it was on sale.
See, again, I don't let morals get in the way of a sale. But I've been looking for Stoli Gold because Stolichnaya made a gold vodka, which it's actually very good. They had it by mistake at the Idaho State Liquor Store for $19.99 a bottle, even though it's like $60. And I was looking for it, and I was really excited. And they, of course, didn't have it because apparently it's been discontinued, although I found the odd bottle now and then. But then I found a yellow and blue wrapped bottle of Stoli on the lowest, narrowest bottom shelf that was the Stoli #StandWithUkraine bottle. And just as I'm verbally expressing my amazement and disbelief at yet again another crass Ukraine marketing scam, I pull up the bottle, it gets caught on the shelf that's above it. The bottle falls to the ground and just shatters. And all of a sudden, it just leaks all over, like, just spreads all over the floor. And it smells like college. And I sat there looking, and I was like, of all the bottles to break, I break the one Stand With Ukraine bottle, and it looks like a minor act of domestic terrorism. And I went and flagged down an employee. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, what do I do? And he looked wildly uninterested. Walked over and looked and was like, I mean, I guess I'll get someone. And then it sort of wandered off. No one cleaned it up, by the way, so we just continued our merry shopping down the aisle. But as if by some kind of summoning, like when you rub the magic lamp, I broke the Stand With Ukraine bottle and a Russian twink appeared. From around a blind corner.
He made no noise as he approached us. He actually scared me because my back was to him. Well, both of our backs were to him. We were looking at the bottles, and all of a sudden I hear this. Yeah, the price is, you know, and he did not have a. You could tell he wasn't quite American, but it was not a Russian accent. You could tell he was trying to mask whatever Russianness he had.
That was the only thing mask about him. Let's be honest.
But. We both just, like, turned around like, who the fuck is talking to us? Because you came out of nowhere.
He was dressed like a real estate agent intern. Which, by that I mean very well. But he kind of looked like someone who, you know, maybe he did a Nureyev thing, like he did a little bit of ballet or something like that, but he doesn't do that anymore, and now he works at Total Wine. But he got his work visa.
He had on his nicely pressed khakis and his white button-down shirt. And
he was ready to make recommendations.
And his little lapel mic.
Yes, because they all have to have lapel mics like they're working security or something. Because everyone's too lazy to go find someone to help, so they have to press the button and, can I get you from Jen over to Rum Please? Jen to Rum Please. Thank you. Like it's that important.
Like it's that big of a store.
Right.
Some Total Wines are, but not that one.
No.
But yeah, he appeared out of nowhere and just...
Didn't notice that the bottle was broken at our feet, by the way. Right. Didn't address it, didn't say a word. It was as if it never happened.
And discussed the interesting pricing variations in the vodka and the vodka that I'm about to get to that interested us.
Yes.
But he was talking about all of that, and then all of a sudden, you made some joke. I don't remember what it was. It's probably stupid. But you made some joke, and he said, "Oh, I know vodka. I'm Russian after all." And then he disappeared.
Yes.
As fast
I
as
never
he
saw
appeared,
him
he
again. I
disappeared.
never saw him again in the store. We walked through the rest of the entire store, and he vanished. I think he lives in the ceiling. Go to your Total Wine. I'm telling people this. I'm encouraging this. Go to your local Total Wine and
Break a bottle.
No. Find the Stoli #StandWithUkraine bottle. Accidentally break it and see if a Russian twink appears, because I want to test this phenomenon. If people start sending us pictures of this, Total Wine is going to ban us from their stores for life, and then we're fucked. And then we have to send Kyle in to go get it for us.
There's worse things that could happen. No, he picked the wrong shit. I thought this is what you
He's like,
wanted.
I thought this was what you wanted. And he's gonna feel really bad, and then and you're gonna be over there like, I wanted the 55 proof, not the 40 proof, you asshole.
This isn't 151.
So yes, we unlocked a small genie at Total Wine.
And
Committed a hate crime.
well, and the very last thing, and this is somewhat of an inside story, so it's going to take just a second to preface. The other day we were in TJ Maxx, I think, or Marshall's, one of the two. They're the
They all
same.
blend together at this point.
Shopping for God knows what. No, kitchen stuff, yeah. And the horrible, horrible song Daisies by Katy Perry came on. And he's like, what is this song? I've never heard it. And so I started making fun of it because everyone, if you've heard the song, she just, screams daisies like she's
Being
demonic, manic depressive something. And it's an unsettling song. And so she
Because daisies, daisies.
And so I did that while she was doing
and every
the
time
song.
it comes on now, it's come on the radio, you put it on your phone.
Yes.
You've done that.
Yes. So it's an inside thing.
Yes.
Right after the Russian twink disappeared, we hear Daisies come on at Total Wine, and that's when Wyatt said, we have to get out of here right now.
At that point, I was convinced I died. Because there were a lot of things that happened in a short amount of time that shouldn't normally happen, and they all happened in sequence, and that was my pale horse, pale rider moment. That was when I said,
was the apocalypse.
there's no way I'm getting out of this Total Wine alive. Run to the cash.
If you hear Daisies start playing in a store, that is a seventh seal breaking. You better get the fuck out.
That's my rapture announcement. That's my,
And you're going to start seeing people just disappear out of their shoes.
That's right. If I get left behind in a Total Wine, that'd be great.
Anyway, so yeah, we quickly
Which I wouldn't be. I'm obviously,
exited stage
I'm obviously
left.
being raptured, but I will grab the Louis XIII on the way out.
We quickly exited stage left when Daisies came on, but that was not. That was after we discussed the new, I guess, trend of designers making vodka.
Literally designer vodka. So Vera
Roberto
Wang Chopin.
Cavalli. So I think Vera Wang partnered with Chopin first, and Roberto Cavalli was like, I want in on this action. So
Yeah.
he couldn't find one to partner with, so he was like, I'm gonna make my fucking own. I'm
It's
assuming
probably
that's
something
what
like
happened.
bathtub vodka from Italy, but it's actually very good. And for $23 for a regular bottle,
So it's very indicative of their clothing. Roberto Cavalli, 23 something, Vera Wang, 89 something. It tracks.
Vera Wang has been promoting the shit out of the vodka, and then I think she teamed up with Vouv to do a rosé, some kind of champagne. It's Vera Wang Bubbles or something like that. And they're all very premium, top shelf. I want to afford it, but $89 for Chopin is a little steep.
And the bottle was only 750 mil.
Right, just a regular size bottle. And same thing with the champagne and everything like that. I mean, maybe that's more affordable, but she has been, if you look on her Instagram, she has been drinking her way through the year, promoting that stuff. But look, she's put her name on everything now. Like, why not make Vicky's vodka?
That fell through. That went bankrupt.
That was a Brooks scam.
Well, He needed money for his cancer treatments.
Not child support. So,
Yeah.
this Roberto Cavalli vodka, I would say we have to give this, for the price, 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm interested though.
There's 4
What
of
the
them.
difference is.
Yes.
So they had flavored ones, which
Right, which
you know,
flavor's
we don't-
flavor?
We don't.
The regular
We
one is
don't
in a
venture that
frosted
far.
crystal bottle.
Right.
Then
But
there's a black one.
right. There's a black one. There's a gold one.
Yeah.
But those
And a
were
silver
not.
one.
Those were not at the reduced price.
No, those were all $29.99.
Yeah, about.
But all of them were
$30.
20. It wasn't like there was a tier system of like one's 30, one's 50, one's 70. No. 4 of them were $29.99, and then for some reason this one was $23.99.
So I want to know what the difference is. Is it just the packaging? Is it just like I'm a designer and I want different packaging
I
for all
think
these
so.
styles, or does it actually taste different?
You have to go through a lot of hoops to make different tasting vodkas and gins and stuff like that because they are flavorless. Like with brandy and stuff like that, or I'm sorry, bourbon or whiskey or something, you can age it. And you're like, okay, this is a 2-year, a 5-year, a 10-year, you know. I don't know. I don't know how. I think it's literally just the packaging.
I don't do dark liquor, so I don't know.
I don't do dark liquor. Who are you?
I rarely do dark liquor. I stick with gin and vodka. Those are my.
Speaking of which, Costco,
Oh jeez.
don't jeez me, is out of the silver tequila that they have, which I challenge all of you to put that up against Patron Silver. If you take the Costco bottle and refill the Patron Silver bottle, no one will know the difference. We did that for years. In the same way, if you take the Costco vodka and put it in the Grey Goose bottle, nobody fucking knows the difference. But they're out of their version of the silver tequila. The last 3 times I've been, I haven't found it. And I'm starting to lose it. Because it's good for margaritas and tequilas, sodas and stuff like that.
Right, and when I make my enchiladas like I did last night, and we don't have any margaritas,
And drink vodka
it's like
sodas.
we're going to hell.
It was like being in Fiesta Cantina all over again. And so that's it, that. But I want to also lean into and get some rum. I want to make like Trader Vic's style rum cocktails. I know they're hard. I know there's a lot of ingredients. I need to get fucking coconut in a can or something. But I want to try that.
As long as it's Bacardi 151.
I thought you said they don't sell that anymore.
They better.
I thought they don't sell 151 in Everclear anymore. Like they're like illegal here because they're too high proof.
Well, Everclear is even higher proof than 151, so
Right.
that I understand in California. But I think they still. We need to check Total Wine, I guess.
Not. Recall Newsom. Bring our Everclear back.
No, okay, so they do sell Everclear
It's
in
just a lower
California,
proof.
but it's a lower proof,
What
so
the
it's not
fuck's the
really
point?
Everclear. No, yeah, there is no fucking point. I can't make Jello shots with a vodka strength Everclear.
By the way, Newsom did one thing this week that A, was not as bad as usual, and B, is indicative that I think he's trying to run for president. He vetoed, which is very unusual for him,
I saw that.
a Democratic-sponsored legislature bill in the state to develop and build more safe injection sites, and then basically giving heroin people all the materials to do it and a place to do it, which has not really worked. And they say, oh, it works in Amsterdam. Well, it doesn't work. Not to the degree that they think that.
Didn't he kind of applaud some of those programs that were happening in like San Francisco?
Yes.
And say that was,
But the problem is that
A good thing?
they've said, oh, it lowers overdoses and everything like this. Instead, the problem was people who had already had other addictions then used it as a place to do an even more dangerous substance, and it just reinforced it more and more and more. So people just show up every single day, do whatever opioids and heroin and fentanyl and all this kind of stuff, and then eventually they just stopped coming because they died. So, in the same way that, honestly, if you decriminalize sex work in this country the way that people think that in Amsterdam it works, you will create an even larger market of human trafficking.
Why do we jump from drugs to human trafficking?
Well, because it's another thing that, libertarians and Reddit people, well, people in quotation marks, try to tout as like, oh man, you just got to decriminalize it. Decriminalize sex work. Decriminalize this. Decriminalize. It's like, well, okay, there are consequences from this, and you have to be prepared for that fallout. It doesn't always suss out in the end, and lots of lives are lost when that happens.
I'm probably going to get some hate for saying something like this, but what is the difference? I know I'm not asking legitimately. I'm asking somewhat rhetorically. What is the difference between prostitution and OnlyFans? Like, these people who only have OnlyFans as their source of income, they're whoring themselves out for money, and
right.
people are paying for it. Like, you're just not actually having sex with them. Like, but they're still having sex. I know it's like pornography. I realize that. Right. It's like amateur pornography. But it's still... What's the difference between actual prostitution and this kind of stuff? It's still promiscuous. It still has this, great risk of passing on STDs and all of this stuff. Obviously, there's the human trafficking component to it. But it's not wildly different.
Well, in a way, prostitution is less bad. I don't want to say better. Prostitution is less bad because it actually does scratch an itch for that person in a physical way. Versus beating off to an OnlyFans person does not make the problem go away. It actually is worse.
Makes it worse.
I mean, in the same way, but then if you try to control OnlyFans, the same people would be like, well, I'm just having a conversation. I'm being paid to have a conversation with somebody or something like this. I'm really surprised that it escaped the overwatch of regulators, because most of those campsites and stuff like that shut down. I don't know what deals they cut, and I don't know how payment processors work with them, because that's with Visa and Pornhub and that kind of stuff. Like, that's where they go after, is the payment processors, and then they're like, ooh, well, we found out there's minors on the site, and so now according to regulations, we can't do that. We can't be the payment processor.
We should talk about that case at some point.
That thing doesn't work. Yeah, so I think that is interesting, but I mean, I don't know. I'm
not an idiot. I'm not saying that they're
the same. I know you're talking about it in a larger rhetorical, moral way. Why would you get hate for asking?
Why would you? No, because it sounds like a stupid question, but my point is, why would someone condemn prostitution and then not condemn something like OnlyFans and pornography?
The conservative case for prostitution. Isn't there a conference that did something like that? There was some one of those bullshit conferences.
I would not know.
No, there was something like that going around. I don't trust any conferences. I hate all of them. If I want to go see one person speak, I'll go see them, but they sound very stupid.
Well, this has gone far too long. I have to.
You say that every episode.
I have to cut out half of your bullshit. Have a great day and fuck you all.
Yes.